the FDA is a little less clear on their guidance as opposed to the pre-market process due to the fact that it has to account for all of these legacy devices. Now, having said that, the SBOM guidance is definitely pretty clear. Once a product has been fielded, SBOM should be kept fully up to date. So as development is ongoing, as new components are added, versions are changed, old components are removed, the SBOM needs to reflect that. That's a very important thing to make sure that is fully up to date. The second area, and I know we've touched on this, is the continuous access. Users need to have that fully up-to-date SBOM. Legally, only the current users are entitled to it, though we recommend that prospective users are able to have that access as well. And ideally, it is just public information out there. And that's really driving that transparency across the industry. The next thing that we're looking for is vulnerability tracking for vulnerabilities in general, and specifically vulnerabilities in the CISA known exploited vulnerabilities catalog, which the FDA states that any of these should be designed out of the system, meaning it's essentially a big problem to have any of these findings in the system and they're able to actually impact the system. Now, having said that, those aren't the only findings that are applicable. It's a pretty large list, but there are many different vulnerabilities that can pass through an SBOM into a final product. So that continuous monitoring of an SBOM is really important to identify these vulnerabilities as they pop up. Now, once a vulnerability is identified, the next step is the response. This usually comes in two parts. So the first part is that remediation, whether that's updating the component to the latest version, replacing it with a different component or a homegrown solution, whatever it may be. And the second part is the validation. So part of a proper test is the remediation validation testing, ensuring that any fixes are populated into the device. And part of that can just be reanalysis of the SBOM, a manual inspection of the code to see what the process flow is through the code base, and ensuring that anything that may have been a vulnerability is no longer actually present in the final system. In general, we just have to make sure that SBOMs are fully up to date and secure, and that users can have that immediate access, or well, not necessarily immediate, but fully up to date access and in a timely fashion.